Hey guys, Sebious here with another Sebious Speaks. Another one of my excitable talking about my few of my favourite things. Today I'm talking about my magic deck. This is the white box, but black and white Orzhov Exaction was the original name. It's become even more exacting now. And I just had a really good time with it on Friday. Friday Night Magic. After putting it together and working on it, and I just want to talk about some of the things that make it up and why it excites me and makes me happy, and why it's going to be my baby for the next few weeks before the rotation with the coming of the Khans of Talkir. Talkir. I can never remember if it's Talkir or Talkir. It's one of those two. The Khans of Sumkir. Are coming, and in their wake, the Return to Ravnica set is going, and with it, Orzhov, well, not Orzhov Black and White, but Orzhov as the guild, and Extort as the mechanic, which this deck kind of really revolves around and makes me happy because of that reason, because of the Extort. And so I just wanted to, want to get a few weeks of this use of this deck out, and I wanted to talk about why it excites me so much, because it gives me crazy bulging eyes, because it makes me happy, and it's going to be going, maybe taking a new form, maybe going a bit more enchantment creature, because I do seem to find myself playing generally like a set behind, and then using the new set to kind of fill the cracks as I get them, and bring in new cards. So we're at the end of the Theros block, and I'm still playing a lot of Ravnica stuff, and we're about to get into the Khans deck here, and I'm going to be playing a lot of Theros stuff. But we shall see. I might also be playing a lot of Target stuff, depending on what I draft and pick up and stuff, but we shall see. So, important start of any deck is the mana base. I've got 5 swamps and 7 plains. That's not really enough. But I do also have a lot of exciting dual lands and exciting lands, which was something when I first got into Magic, I just didn't have any of them, and it's just one of the things over time. The more time you spend in the trades and things, you will eventually acquire more exciting lands. And just I've done really quite well with some of my black and white dual lands. So we got a play set of also Guild Gates in there with the various different arts. Lovely. 3 Temples of Skylance, which is obviously the dual land with the scrying, including the first one of these that I ever got, which was given to me by Stephen Kelly as a Christmas present in a booster, which got teed by the cat. So it's the Temple of Tea, that one. We got Godless Shrine, because us Orzhov are godless swines, and we are all about judgment without hope. Because that's the thing. I'm not going to get too much into the idea of Orzhov too much, because I want to do kind of a Sebious Speaks talking about the fluff of the Orzhov, because they are creepy, weird, bad, evil, fun, cool people. Nixus, Shrine to Nyx, awesome for tapping for colourless mana or 2 and 2 colourless and tap. You can tap for Devotion, which is just awesome. Couple of Cave of Koalas, which are the black-white pain lands. I think it's Caves of Koilos, but Cave of Koalas is so much better. Just like the Temple of Silence, Temple of Skridance is so much more fun. So that's the land. I think it's 22. We're around 22. Because I'm trying to keep it low, because we keep it quite cheap. Trying to keep it cheap, so we're casting lots of stuff, lots of creatures, and lots of enchantments and things, just so we can keep extorting and keep doing that stuff. So let's start looking at some of the creatures. Backbone of this deck in many ways, and I love them so much, are the Tithe Drinker, or Tit Drinker as I call her, bless her. So the Tithe Drinker is 2/1 for 1 white, 1 so 1 plains, 1 swamp, lifelink, 2/1 with Extort. And Extort, just so we, in case you're not aware, Extort is whenever you cast a spell, you may pay white or black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain that much life, which is just awesome. And I love it. So every single time I'm casting a spell, I can be doing that once for each creature with it, and there's lots of creatures with it in this deck, so that's awesome. So you can do it for as many of those as you have. And the important thing is when you cast a spell. So the spell can be countered or negated in some way, but still you get the trigger for Extort is there, which is awesome. I've got a playset of the Tide Drinkers, playset of the Basilicus Creatures, who again they're 1/2 flying Extort for 1 and a swamp, 2-drop for 1/2 flying and Extort. They're ridiculous. They're amazing. I love them so much. People don't always have things to deal with flyers, and they can just peck. They can peck to death while also helping to extort to death. I mentioned in my Gaming Week video from Sunday that I actually had in a game against Jan, I just had 3 Basilicus Creatures out flying in formation, whacked an Ethereal Armor on one of them, and they were just doing their thing. And I had 1 Basilicus Creature with 4 Ethereal Armors, and that did a thing. They're just awesome. 1/2 flying Extort. Love it. Love it very much. Speaking of flying and Extort, I have 3 Kingpin's Pets. I would have a playset, but I don't have the 3rd one. I may have to track one down, but there's only a few weeks before they're really any use to me. So it's 1 white and black, so 1 Plains and Swamp, for a 2/2 flying and Extort. And I just love the fact that this is a kind of weird thrall flying thug with it's a gold chain and spiky gold knuckle dusters, which is awesome. And I love the flavor text on this. Death and death sounds so familiar. Thralls are so hard of hearing. Mistakes are inevitable. So everyone's debt is death, or debt for the deathless, but that's not actually in here because it's too expensive. I've got a pair of Syndic of Tithes, who are your kind of is a 1 and a Plains 2/2 Extort. He is your evil vicar, with the collection tray of doom. In many ways, entrance is free, donations are required, and also you can see there's a thrall just kind of hiding behind his skirts, which is just awesome. Yeah, so very useful. And while we're on the creatures with Extort, I got a pair of the old Basilica Guards. These things that haven't really been in my deck because I'm not normally a big fan of Defender, but I'm going for more control with this thing, so they're more worthwhile. 2 in a Plains, so they're 3-drop Defender with Extort. None may pass for free. 1/4, useful just for the Extort and the defending more than anything else, to be honest. So that's all my extorting creatures. 2 more creatures. I got 1 Triad of Fates, the legendary creature. So we've got 1 tap, put a fate counter on the target creature, and then either a Plains and tap to exile target creature with a counter on it and return it to the back of battlefield. So essentially flickering it so it drops any negative things that are on it. And also black and tap, and you can exile, and its controller draws 2 cards. So you basically exile anything that you can get a counter on, so you can get rid of some nasty, horrible things, and that working with control is rather useful. Got one of those. And speaking of Orzhov and things that are useful and legendary, you got to have Obzedat, the Ghost Council, and this is something when I do talk about the fluff of Orzhov that I really look forward to speaking about. But they are the Spirit Advisory legendary creature. So whenever so it's 1, 2 Plains and 2 Swamps. So it's a 5-drop, fairly expensive and specific to get out. But when it comes, it comes. So when Obzedat Ghost Council enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Boom, that's good. Nice bit of life. You lose some life. Good times. But not finished yet. At the beginning of your end step, you may exile Obzedat. If you do, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of your next upkeep. It gains haste. So basically, you flicker it out at the end of your go. I kind of normally put mine on top of my library to remind myself. Comes back to your go. It comes in again. 2 life to you. 2 life from your opponent, and now you've got a 5/5 with haste on the field. To do a little boom, and then off he chops again. Comes back in. 2/2, boom. Looking after the interest of the Orzhov and the Orzhov player, which is awesome. So that's the creatures. It's fairly creature heavy. There's a few here. And didn't really work out how many of us we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 creatures. Don't worry, kids, I am on a bed and they are in sleeves and no damage is happening to my flinging the cards. I do not recommend flinging cards about, but 17 creatures, decent enough bunch of creatures, and for the most part, they're cheap, they all extort, they do damage, they do the thing, they make me happy. So then we get on to the kind of more control-y element of the deck, which is basically all enchantments. It's all creatures, all enchantments, and one planeswalker, who I'll talk about in a moment. So the crux of the control, something I never had before, I had to borrow these from Sarah. They became Sarah's trademark for a long time. I got 3 spheres of safety. Now, I love these, hate these, love these, hate these. I hate coming up against them. Now that I get them under my control, I love them. I was hating them so much. But a Sphere of Safety is 4 colorless and a plane, so a 5-drop enchantment. Creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless the controller pays X, where X is the number of enchantments you control. So one down on the field, done, boom. Each creature costs 1 to attack. Put 2 spheres down. 4. Each creature takes 4 to attack. We got 3 spheres down. So is that 8? I get confused now. So it's times 3. So it's 9. Just insane. And then you start adding to that with more. So we've got 3 of those. Boom. Then you start adding to that with more. More control, more enchantments. I've got a playset of Oppressive Rays. We like some Oppressive Rays. They're just a 1-drop for planes. Enchant creature can't attack or block unless its controller pays 3, and that's the same for abilities as well. So straight away, you can do that at the beginning of the game. It pays 3 to do an ability, 3 to do any kind of attacking or blocking or any of that stuff, controlling that stuff, stopping people from doing things. Speaking of stopping people from doing things, pacifism. Gotta love some pacifism, and pacifism from many years ago as well, of all different types. Gotta love pacifism. 2-drop, colorless and planes for enchant creature, can't attack or block. And one of my favorite fluff flavor texts. For the first time in his life, Grak felt a little warm and fuzzy inside. So they're awesome. They're also boosting the spheres of safety, stopping people from attacking, cheap casting, helping the extort. Good times. We got a single soul tithe. I'd have more if I had more. Again, it's a 1 and a planes drop. Enchant non-land permanent. The beginning of upkeep is of enchanted permanence controller. That player sacrifices it unless he or she pays X, where X is its converted mana cost. So this is great for chucking on something huge. Something that's sort of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 crazy stuff. They have to pay that before they draw. So you could be wiping people's mana, screwing their mana over, or just making them sacrifice their really important, expensive card. Love it a lot. It's awesome. Another thing I love, and it's also disgustingly cheap, I've got a playset of Sinister Possessions in there. So it's just a swamp, another enchantment. Enchanted creature attack. Whenever enchanted creature attacks or blocks, its controller loses 2 life. You can't block, you can't attack without losing life. So, but I'm going to attack you, so you're going to lose life. So do you want to take it and then lose life? It's just, it's such an annoying little thing to put on someone. And again, it just costs a swamp. You've got a few extort things out. Put one of these down, tap 5. You're putting that on something, extorting 4 times, gaining 4 life, taking 4 life from someone. It's obscene. Obscene. And then we come to another cheeky little caveat. The only actual kind of positive boosting cards I have for my own cards. That is a playset of Ethereal Armor. Ethereal Armor is just a 1-drop. It's just planes. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 for each enchantment you control and first strike. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 enchantments in this deck. And Ethereal Armor plus So there's 16 taking out the ethereal armors. So you put down. Say you magically manage to get them all out. It's not going to happen. But just in a fantasy world, come with me on a fantasy journey for a moment, right? 16 of those are out. You put an ethereal armor on something, it becomes whatever it is already. So let's say it's a specific creature. It becomes a 17, 18 with flying. Then you just put another one down. So now, it's 34, 34. It just gets more insane, and that's just the idea. So that's the enchantments. It's obviously very enchantment heavy, and it may become all enchantment as the extort stuff goes out and the enchantment creatures come in. So I'm seeing some Grim Guardians, some Guardians of the Underworld, Baleful Eidolons, that sort of stuff, and obviously the Whip of Erebos. These kind of things might come in the next few weeks as it goes. But the last card I've got in here is Elsbeth. She's 4 colourless and 2 plains, so she's a 6-drop. +1 is put 3/1/1 white soldier creature tokens on the battlefield. Her -3, which has saved me and is so useful, but you need to remember not to boost yourself too much, is -3, destroy all creatures with power of 4 or greater. That disgusting Leviathan, that disgusting thing that someone's been building and boosting, and then suddenly, boom, it's gone. And all of them. That's lovely. And obviously her -7, her ultimate, is you get an emblem with creatures you control have +2/+2 and flying, which is just devastating. So yeah, that is my current form of exacting Exaction, my Orzhov Extort Control deck of death. It gave me the best standing I've ever had at Friday Night Magic this Friday, which was 5th. 1-3, drew 1, lost 1. Not bad at all. I don't know if I'm going to be making any changes at the moment. The Basilica Guards are tempting to change to maybe bring in a couple more really cheap, annoying enchantments. Like there's the one which means the creature with it gets -1/-1 and can't attack. There's also the ones that are -1/-1 and can't activate abilities. But at the moment, it's going to stay as it is, and hopefully we shall see if it does me any good over the next few weeks before Khan's Tarkil comes and everything changes. And I look forward to talking about some other decks I've been working on and some other decks that I'm playing another time. But this is my baby at the moment. Any comments, criticism, and kind of thoughts are most welcome. If it's just you need to get that card, I'm probably not going to source cards. I have this thing. I would trade for stuff. Where we buy some boosters, we do the drafts and stuff. But I like to work with what I have. Because sometimes I think, like obviously I have no problem. I'm not sort of calling people out or saying bad things. But there's a lot of people do like net decking and finding out what's best, and then they just buy the cards and build the deck, which is fair enough. If you want to do that, you have the money to do that. That's cool. But for me, I think, what's the point? There's no point buying boosters if you work that way. I might as well just find a list I like and then buy all those cards specifically and do that. But that's not what I want to do. I want to build what I want from what I've got. And that's what I've done here. And it's done quite well for me for one week. So we will see how next week goes. But this has been Sebious Speaks. I'm Darth Sebious. Yeah, I'm rather tired, Darth Sebious, because this is the third video I recorded on Sunday. I'm sure this will be posted probably Tuesday or Wednesday. But yeah, that's why I'm wearing the same thing in most of the videos this week, just in case you were wondering. But I'm Darth Sebious. This is Sebious Speaks for Allies Index, allies-index.com, a place for all things geeky gaming. We are mostly based on Tumblr, but you can find us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube as well. We've got video games, card games, board games, Miss games. We've got fantasy football stuff going on, 40k, Minecraft. There's all sorts of stuff, news, rumours, and all that good stuff as well. And if you want to share stuff with us, submit and send us a message, and we'll share that with other people. And if you want to get involved, doing a regular article, or in some way sharing your own geeky gaming joy, then please do get in contact with us. But again, I'm Darth Sebious, and I'll catch you guys soon. Tally bye.